Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Q&A show, Q&A podcast on Inside the Birds platform. We want to say thank you guys for always making our show a success. What a great year. The Eagles overachieved, in our opinion. We were happy that they made the playoffs to get some experience going forward into next year. We're looking at the Bengals and Rams Super Bowl. No one would have thought that the Bengals would be in it, but Joe Burrow's the man right now. So I'm your favorite host. No, I'm messing. I'm Jason Avant, and I'm here with my main man, my co-host, Quintin Mikell. Quintin, say what's up to the people.
What's up, everybody? Glad to be back. Another installment. As always, having fun. Love to talk sports with you guys and love all the support you guys show us. And without further ado, let's get into it.
All right, so this will be our last episode of this season. We're going to take a break. It may be a couple of weeks, maybe a month or so, and we're going to come back again around for the draft and all the things that are coming up. But we want to say thank you guys for tuning in all this year. We appreciate you guys. To Adam and Jeff and Hunter and Josh and everyone at Inside the Birds. We want to say thank you guys. To DraftKings and Manscaped and every other sponsor that we have. I want to say thank you guys as well. And to all the fans, go Birds no matter what, baby. Here we go. Let's break this down. We're going to start with the Super Bowl this week. Just hop right into it. Who has the best roster? Bengals, Rams. I think this is pretty simple, but Bengals, Rams, who had the best roster?
Yeah, I mean that's play. That's pretty much the easiest question we've had all year. I mean, this Rams team is almost like an all-star team, and from top to bottom, they're just solid all across the board. And when you're solid, and then on top of that, you got superstars, you got first-round draft picks up and down the board, you got playmakers everywhere at every position. This Rams team is just built to win. Right now, and it's a good roster, man.
I agree with you, and they have good superstars. And let me explain that. There's a lot of superstars that are so selfish that it kind of corrodes the team from the inside out. Their superstars work hard. Their superstars want to be in the Hall of Fame. Their superstars love the attention, but also they love the game more than they love the attention. And that's like the crux of their team. When you think of Aaron Donald, works harder than everybody. Von Miller has his own camp of other NFL defensive end and defensive linemen, so they can work and talk it over about what's the best moves every year, right? His passing is famous. Jalen Ramsey, big ego, but puts in that work, willing to follow anybody. Odell wants to work, but he may be the one diva out of them all. But when you surround him with Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp, you got Cooper Kupp in your own room who's going to outwork you, put up better numbers than you, and block as hard as anything. That's only helping Odell to contain him as well. So they have a team full of good superstars. It's not just superstars; it's good superstars. So the Bengals have a good roster, really good roster. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Jesse Bates, Joe Mixon. They have really good roster, but the Rams team is superior when it comes to talent. Doesn't mean that the Rams are going to win this game because it's the NFL. We got to win one game, and anything can happen in one game. It's not like the NBA or other leagues where you play a series. The Rams are going to win a series. But one game, you never know what happens. Somebody can knock Matthew Stafford out on the first play. You never know what happens. It's the NFL.
Yeah.
That's what I love about the game. So we'll see it. What are your favorite or favorable and what are your favorable and unfavorable matchups for each team? If you had a chance to look at it, I can go first if you need.
Yeah, I think first of all, with the Bengals, let's look at the Bengals offense. For me, I think the favorable matchup will be Joe Burrow versus this linebacking core. I think with this Rams defense, I mean, if they have a weakness on that defense, and it's a very, very small weakness, I would say it's the linebacking core.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say the favorable matchup for the Bengals offense would be Joe Burrow versus those linebackers. They're not going to be able to push the ball down the field. They're not going to be able to, dink and dunk you and take shots whenever they choose. So I think they're going to have to use a little bit of play action, get those linebackers moving, get their eyes in the wrong spots. And I think the only favorable matchup, like from start to finish for the Bengals offense, will be Joe Burrow versus this linebacking core for the Rams and how he can get them moving.
I think there's a couple, and I agree with you, right? So we're talking about Ernest Jones, Troy Reader, inside linebackers for the Rams against Joe Mixon.
Yeah.
We don't know. We may not know if Uzama is going to play, but Drew Sample, one of the tight ends, Tyler Boyd, those guys that are working in the middle of the field against that linebacker core, yes, that's an advantage. The Bengals. The other advantage I have too is that T. Higgins is a better player than Darius Williams, and Darius Williams is a solid player, but T. Higgins, as far as his matchup and his size in comparison, and now best on best, Jamar Chase versus Jalen Ramsey. If the offensive line is holding up for a few seconds, I believe that Jamar Chase would tear Jalen Ramsey a new one. If they had a even offensive defensive line stalemate type of matchup, I think Jamar Chase would eat him up. That's just me from looking at how much wiggle he has, how determined he is, how fast he is. Jalen Ramsey can cover, and he's one of the best cover corners in the league. But it's kind of hard to deal with this speed every single play and with that much route, variety. But I don't think that he'll have enough time to make that something that he can do. Jalen Ramsey, knowing if he can sit on a route, it's a whole different game. So if Jalen Ramsey plays good versus Jamar Chase, let's look at it and see, did the D-line get home? Because a veteran corner versus even a star receiver with a banging D-line, the corner is going to be the favorite. It just is. He may be talking trash, but Aaron Donald is hitting the quarterback every other play. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. For you, who's going to win the game?
Yeah.
Before I get there, because we went Bengals. All right.
So yeah,
the D line, the Bengals D line, the Bengals offensive line. You can't win this one. I think you can formulate some type of. You're going to have to keep people in, and you got to play a game that may not be the most suitable for you, because remember, this team, the Rams, their defense, they play a lot of nickel and dime, right? Mm-hmm. So on the back end, so do you want to keep people in the box and then end up throwing the ball versus 7 and 8 all the time, or 7? It's just not a win-win, because now you have 5 and 6 defensive backs versus 2 or 3 pass targets. It's just the numbers are not great, right? So, that presents a lot of problems for this team. The other advantage I think that the Rams just have is Eli Apple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I had on my notes. Eli versus the entire Rams receiver core.
Yeah, I'll put over here, like, he got a bullseye right now on him. He might as well just put a red quarterback jersey on for like they do in practice, because this boy about to see about 20 targets on Sunday. He better have his hamstrings warm. Like warm.
It don't matter who's on him. Don't matter.
Everybody.
Another key matchup I'm going to look at is Hubbard, the defensive end for the Bengals. I'm going to see how he handles Whitworth. I think Whitworth's been around forever. God, he's got to be pushing like close to 15 years in at offensive tackle.
It's been a long time that he's been in the game. He's a Bengal, right? So he's an original Bengal. So that has to be weird too for him.
I know, right?
Uh-huh.
He's probably like, man, y'all waited this long to get to the
right?
to the chip, and now I got to beat you.
I got to beat you, right?
But yeah, I'd be interested to take a look at that matchup as well. Across the board, man. I agree with you there. It's going to be
go ahead. Underrated, and this is the thing, like that, what people don't know is that there's their other defensive end, Trey
Hendrickson.
Hendricks has 14 sacks. He's fifth. He tied for fifth in the NFL.
Yeah.
They have a D lineman with 6 sacks, BJ Hill, right? So they can generate pass rush. I've been hearing people say that they can't generate. No, they can generate a pass rush.
Yeah.
When you have, both your defensive ends, like Hubbard has 8 sacks, he has 14. You got another defense with 6. Like, that's good numbers for defensive linemen. So they can generate a pass rush. Will it be consistent enough to keep these guys out the end zone? We'll see.
Okay, my last key matchup here.
Okay.
All right, it's going to be Sean McVay's play calling versus defensive coordinator. I can never pronounce his name correctly. Anamu. I can't remember.
There, go ahead.
I'm bad with his name, but the defense coordinator for the Bengals. I've watched four plus games. I watched all the playoff games this year for the Bengals, and he does a very, very good job adjusting in the second half. First half has usually been kind of tough. Second half, he's made adjustments, and usually whatever's going on in the first half, he puts a stop to the second half. So that's another key matchup for me that I'm going to be paying attention to is Sean McVay's play calling. He tends to come out. He gets very pass heavy, a lot of play action pass, a lot of boot stuff early in the game. Gets away from his normal game plan, and I'm going to be curious to see if he's going to come out trying to sling it again, and if they get down, how is he going to adjust the second half? And if by chance they end up and they're winning, let's say they're blowing the Bengals out in the first half, how does the defensive coordinator for the Bengals adjust to the second half? So I'll definitely be the key in that key matchup as well.
I think that I'll get on here and say Jesse Bates gets a good chance that he picks Matthew Stafford off. It's just a good chance because Matthew throws a few catchable passes to the other team each game. Every game that we've watched and every game that we've seen, the ball is always in harm's way because he believes he can make every throw, and he doesn't know how to coach himself down from that. And this is that game where number 30 out there is going to get him one. I'm not saying it's going to equal a win, but the last play that he had, with Tyreek Hill equaled a win. So we'll see.
That's it. It's for all y'all making bets. So y'all betting.
We'll see.
Jason Avant said Jesse Bates is going to get a pick in this game. All right.
Yeah, I'm about to get on DraftKings. Get my top bet. All right.
And who's going? Lou Anuramu. Anuramu.
There you go. There you go. Who's going to win MVP? You got like a 60% chance that it's like Matthew Stafford or Joe Burrow, right? It's so that's a high one. I may go with one of those prop bets that's like, because those bets right there, who's on MVP, and then mess around and be somebody like Cam Akers or Joe Mixon. Well, Joe Mixon probably would be low, but it wouldn't be
Aaron Donald.
It'd be like T. Higgins or something like that, and mess around and be 60, 70 to 1 or something like that.
It's worth it. It's worth it. Yeah, for me, I think it's going to be Matt Stafford. I think the Rams going to win, and for whatever reason, quarterback could go 13 for 30, have 120 yards, throw one touchdown, and then they win the game and he get the MVP, man.
Yeah, yeah. What a game he played! That last throw was the throw of the game. Well, he stunk it up the entire game, sir. Frick. That drives me nuts when a quarterback stats 300 yards and this dude, two of his receivers have 100+ yards in yak. You're like, man, dude, he threw the ball at the line of scrimmage and the receiver made the play. Give me a break. Or it was a screen pass that went 50. Like, stop. Let's evaluate this. That's why certain plays that I don't think that the quarterback should get a pick for, and there are certain plays that I don't think you should get a touchdown for.
I agree.
Like, that's just me. I'm like, you should be able to look at it, some NFL players, some old players, some young player, whatever it is, look at it and be like, this dude did a cartwheel and did MC Hammer dance and scored a touchdown. Quarterback don't get that credit for that touchdown.
MC Hammer dance.
All right, let's do that DraftKings review.
Yeah, we're talking about betting. Let's get into it. The moment we've been waiting for since September is finally here. In honor of the big game, DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 56 is giving new customers 56-1 odds on either team. Bet just $5 or more and get 280 in free bets. If your team wins, then you win. Not a new customer? Bet on Super Bowl 56 props instead. We were just talking about that. DraftKings Sportsbook offers a wide range of props throughout the big game. Take your shot at winning cash by predicting props like a non-quarterback will throw a pass, fourth down conversions, total yardage, and so much more. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, use promo code ITV, and get 56-1 odds on either team. Bet just $5 or more and get 280 in free bets if your team wins. That's promo code ITB at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 56. Must be 21 and older, Pennsylvania only, new customers only. Restrictions apply in partnership with Meadows Racetrack and Casino. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Oh, for the record, I'm picking the Rams to win this game. I just think they're too much. I would love to see Joe Burrow do this, though. I would love to see Joe Burrow will his team to win. It'll be a classic throwback type of a, Tom Brady type of a win. This would be.
Yeah.
They're going to anoint this dude as the next Tom Brady if he wins this game.
We won't stop hearing about that until the end of next year.
By the way, we're going to hear Tom Brady's name on Super Bowl Sunday probably about 45 times, ladies and gentlemen, just letting you know. So if you don't like Tom Brady, you might as well not watch this game because there's going to be a tribute and all that stuff. I don't know any of this. There's no intel that tells me this, but I'm just telling you. Every show that I've seen, any games, has always been talking about Tom Brady. So, anything football related,
and especially now because he just came out and said that he may unretire. He doesn't know. So now,
his wife, she
ain't letting.
She be divorced trying to play again. You better chill. All right. Let's go to the next topic. Oh, Jonathan Gannon returns. Oh, damn. Dang. You hear news and you're like, man, I wish they didn't go like that. I was like, love you, Smith. Like, why couldn't we get him as defense coordinator and let Jonathan Gannon take their coach?
Like the same thing.
You've been there like Martin. Damn. All right, let me stop, y'all. But there's so much progress that needs to take place, and let's do it. What kind of players does Jonathan Gannon need for his defense? Be specific about position. On the ball linebacker, true four technique, versatile safety, tall, lengthy cornerback, so short and twitchy. What do you think, Q?
That's a tough question because I still don't recognize his scheme. I still don't. He has not shown enough and not done enough to really understand what he's trying to accomplish. To be honest with you, based on what we saw on the field. So let's look at it like this. Based on what we saw, he likes to play it safe. He doesn't particularly like to take chances and blitz and compromise his coverage. He's not overly creative in terms of his blitz schemes. So all that to me leads me to believe that he is very similar play call wise, at least in his first year, to what Jim Schwartz did. And so for me, that's the only difference is instead of letting the D lineman just hit it and let them cut loose, he's having them play more of a gap scheme. So for me, that's going to be, you're going to need a big space eater, 4-eye technique, 3 technique, 1 technique in the middle, holding those linebackers. I mean, holding those guards,
and
centers, and not letting them get up to the linebackers. That means you're going to have free running, fast linebackers. Maybe not. They don't have to be like Devin Bush fast, but they have to be athletic enough to run and hit and get in space, run through gaps. I think cornerback wise, I think he's going to need more tall, rangy corners that you can put on the island and not necessarily have to worry about coverage 24/7 with them. I feel like he is the type of defensive coordinator that his scheme is more based on if I think his scheme for his cornerbacks is more like, listen, I don't want to have to worry about you guys. I want to have to worry about stopping the run. I want to have to worry about not taking any chances. So I need some cornerbacks that are lockdown cornerbacks on the outside. I need some big guys in the front to keep the linebackers free and running side to side. And I need a safety that's just smart. I don't even think he cares to have a safety that's a playmaker or versatile. I think that he wants a safety that is just smart and is not going to make mistakes. That's based on what I saw in his first year.
That wasn't too enjoyable to hear. What? You kept it real. I appreciate it. It wasn't like, man, let's go get him for 2022.
That's what I saw, man. Based on his play calling, that's what it was. Like, what?
All right. But with that being said, Q, I agree. There's so much. Let's talk about skill positions let's talk about positions that we need, that we know we need.
Yes.
We need safeties.
Yeah.
We need another cornerback, somebody that is just not a guaranteed catch, or someone that can stop the offense from playing through his side of the ball.
Yes.
Right. That's what we need. And that can be a lot of different things, but somebody that's competitive enough, that's good enough, where offense can't highlight a game plan. Let's attack this player.
Yeah.
I don't need him to be a Pro Bowler. I just need him to be respected enough where the offensive coordinator is like, we can't just keep going there and expecting to like win like this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They would rather choose another avenue.
Yeah.
So whatever that may be, we don't pick high enough to get the best one. This is the best corner in the draft, and
Stingley.
Oh my gosh, that kid's a technician.
Yes, sir.
For a long time too, you know, like he was the best corner he's the best corner as a freshman. The kid is a technician. Feet is unbelievable. Like some of his turns, I'm like, dude, that's impossible. But kid has it. So we need that. We need a lot. This roster, especially defensively, needs a lot, because you got Fletch. It's not really bought into it. You got Hargrave, which is not a big run stopping, eat up gap. These guys like to shoot gaps, and that's not the requirement for what this defensive coordinator wants.
Yeah.
You need like just a big fat dude that's strong.
Jordan Davis. That's what you need.
You don't need a dude he's probably not even that interested in getting a quarterback, right? He's just like, dude, I just want to bear hug two people. That's what we need, right? So we can keep a linebacker free, so we can be able to run through a gap, be able to have one-on-one rushes, all of that stuff. Yeah. So I agree with you, and I won't keep going down that path. Does he need linebackers who specialize in blitzing? He don't blitz a bunch. So why would you need linebackers that kind of specialize in blitzing? Like, yeah, would we like people that know how to blitz? Yes, but you have to create schemes. And the more you blitz, guess what? The people that do it the most, they get better at it because they do it a bunch. Teams that run the ball like the Eagles do, they got better at it because they run it. It's just it. You call a blitz, they will get better at it. Bottom line. There's no like magic formula to this at all.
Yep.
All right, let's go to division. Giants have hired Brian Daboll, who is one of my favorite NFL, coaches in general, just from having conversations with him. I know how bright he is. Mike Kafka, one of my teammates. Good dude. Yeah, Mike Kaft is a really good dude. Loves this game. Loves the game. Brings some of that Chiefs magic in there with the Patriots blend of Dabo. That's a little scary right there.
Yeah,
I'm liking that synergy though. I'm
yeah.
liking it. You got Don Wink, Martindale. They're heading the right direction or what? That's pretty exciting coaching staff so far.
That's a damn good coaching staff. I
Yeah,
mean, I don't even know who they got special teams coach,
yeah,
but I'm sure they nailed it there too. They're headed in the right direction, and I think Eagle. Me as an Eagle fan and a Giant hater, I'm not happy about this situation because it's going to be real. It's going to get real real quick
yeah.
because like you said, I don't know Dable personally. I've watched him from afar with his schemes, and I've always been impressed by the way he calls the game, the creativity he brings to the game, and really the he's not afraid. Like I've seen their fourth down calls. He'll call a naked boot and just take the chance. Like I just like the way he calls. He's kind of I wouldn't say like a riverboat gambler, but he's definitely not afraid to make certain
Yeah,
calls.
yeah. And when you consider who Daniel Jones is, he
Hmm.
can run. He's not as durable as Josh Allen, right? But he can run. There's the threat of it.
Yeah.
And when he has protection, the dude can drop him in there. When he
Oh
has
yeah.
protection,
Hmm.
he just doesn't ever have protection.
Yeah.
So we'll see if they can revitalize him. But if Daniel Jones comes out and balls, they're going to be lauding Daboll as the next Andy Reid with quarterbacks now. You know what I mean? It's just
Yes.
happen. How much should this new staff concern other Eagles, other NFC teams like this new Giant staff? And I guess we just answered that
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah. They're got the note there. Their 53-man roster. We were kind of talking about this before the show. Their roster is not as bad as their record shows. Like you said earlier, I mean their O&D line is really the weakest link of this team. Their skill positions are
Are
pretty
solid.
serviceable. Yeah.
Yeah, their skill positions are solid. They got two good safeties. Was it Xavier McKinney? You got Julius Peppers. You got Logan Ryan, who's also like a move around guy.
Yeah.
Love, who's got a lot of experience. So you got four safeties that have a lot of experience right there in and of itself. You got Bradbury, you got Darnay Holmes. The other cornerback is always in and out.
Adoree.
Huh?
Did you say Adoree? Adoree Jackson?
Oh, Dory
Yeah.
Jackson. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he can't. He was there last year. So they got good skill positions. And then you got Tony on offense. You got Sterling Shepard. You have what's
Ingram.
the kid? You got Ingram, Slayton,
Yeah.
and then the money guy that they just paid, Galladay. Right? They had you get them to play better. You get the offensive line together. Defense line with this coaching staff, the Giants looking a little scary.
I know.
Now the Eagles are always going to be in games, like we talked about this, Jeff, before the show. Always be in a game, offensive line, defensive line. If you can grow that and if we can grow that, keep getting that better, we're always going to be in a game. Will our coaching staff betray us? Time will tell. That may be a negative question. I'm talking about Jonathan Gannon and the youth of our coaching staff. And you just think about like Martindale, been in the league forever. Don Martindale has been in the league forever. Dabo's been in the league forever. Kafka was a player and been in around the league and coaching staff for the last 10 years or so. Like,
Something. Go ahead. I don't want.
It's just more experience, man. It is what it is.
Yeah. There's some. I was watching a game. I didn't mean to cut you off there. My bad.
No, you're good.
I was watching the game and they were talking about Dable, and I thought this was pretty interesting. He's never left the Northeast as a coach.
No, he's been there the whole time.
The whole time. He's never gone anywhere outside the Northeast to coach. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's probably his wife.
Yeah. It's always the wife.
You can coach but you can coach in these 3 states. Excuse me, ladies on here that's watching this show. You're like, I ain't blaming it. Listen, I'm telling you can coach in these 3 states. If we're not taking the job unless it's in these 3 states.
That sounds like my wife.
And you got to be home by 7 o'clock. All right, Keith, let's get into this draft. This Manscaped read.
Gotcha.
Support for the Q&A show is brought to you by Manscaped, the champion of the world for men's below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. They just launched their 4th-generation trimmer, the Lawnmower 4.0. You heard it right, 4.0. Join over 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer. 20% off and free worldwide shipping with code QA at manscaped.com. Imagine shaving with a sleek, well-designed, and optimized trimmer that makes shaving time your favorite time in the bathroom. I've tried the 4.0 and blown away with the craftsmanship, and details are second level. Nobody wants to get hurt down there. You know what I mean. So Manscaped engineered the ultimate groin and body trimmer by focusing on intelligent functionality and an incredibly comfortable grooming experience. Their 4th-generation trimmer has a cutting-edge ceramic blade that reduces those accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. You got to be comfortable down there. This upgraded trimmer also has a multi-function on and off switch that can engage a travel lock and has a 4000K LED spotlight that can turn on and off for more precision on your shave. The new lawnmower even allows you to customize your trim with guard length sizes 1 through 4. How about wireless charging? Their new wireless charging system uses electromagnetic induction to help the battery last longer. Men, you can't use the same trimmer on your nuts and face. Nobody needs pubes in their mouth. Get your own ball, hair, and body trimmer with Manscaped. Make me time the best time like Jason Avant always does. Get 20% off and free shipping with code QA at manscaped.com. Your balls will thank you. Get 20% off and free shipping with code QA at manscaped.com. That's 20% off, free shipping at manscaped.com. Use code QA. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. And your balls will thank you. That's some funny stuff every time.
I love it.
All right. You got this next part, Q.
Yeah, let's get into the listener questions. All right, this is from Anthony W. All right, Jason, here we go. If the Eagles stay with Hurts at quarterback, would they waste a valuable opportunity to build a roster if we do not select 3 players in the first round versus trading 1 or 2 picks and only selecting 1 or 2 players? So he's saying that would that be a waste if they pick 3 players instead of trading and getting 2? That's a tough question.
No, so I think that the only move that the Eagles have at this point is to get somebody that's in the NFL that has a proven history, because who are we looking at right? All right, you got Malik Willis, you got Kenny Pickett, and I don't think we're going to be able to move up that far to get Kenny Pickett. We may be able to manipulate the Malik Willis thing, but are those 2 guys, based on the evaluations of the pros who rank each quarterback every year, are they in the category of the Josh Allens and the Joe Burrows and Justin Herberts? Are they along that, or are they just the best quarterbacks of this draft class? And what I'm hearing is that these guys aren't like that. They're not the upper echelon quarterbacks. It's just a weak quarterback draft. So do I want to waste an opportunity of getting 3 solid, good football players on a hopeful trade up to get a guy that may not even be that good based on the analysts out there? So I think the right thing to do is to either go after a notable guy that we can get in Aaron Rodgers. I don't think we can get them, like I told you guys last week, but you have to exhaust every opportunity to get a Deshaun Watson, a Russell Wilson, these types of guys to see if you have an opportunity. Like I said, I don't think we're going to be able to get those guys. But if there's an opportunity there, let's try that. That's number one. And if that allows us to get that guy and get rid of a few picks, I'm okay with that, right? Because that guy's a cornerstone guy already.
Yeah.
But I will not waste, a first round pick on a guy that's Kenny Pickett or Malik Willis. I'd rather stick with Jalen Hurts in that situation and just get 3 solid football players. And they have a lot of solid football players in this draft. I seen a mock draft that had Nakobe Dean like getting picked like at 28. So if that's the case, if he's in that 20 to 30, this is a good draft because that kid can play.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
As far as skill, as far as other quarterback, outside of the quarterback position. So, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think, barring the opportunity, obviously, I agree with you on that. If you can get someone like Deshaun Watson, if you can get someone like Russell or Aaron Rodgers, you got to go for it. If not, I agree with you. I'm personally I watched a little bit of Malik Williams. I know everybody's kind of big, high on him right now.
Malik Willis. Mm-hmm.
Willis, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
He's got big arm, athletic, fast. I just don't see it in terms of his long-term, carrying a franchise. I just don't see it personally. But I do agree with you. There's a lot of very, very good football players in this draft. And I think if you can pick up 3 solid players and add to your squad and start to build, I don't care. Honestly, I don't care if the 3 players are all on offense. I don't care if they're all on defense. I just think this team needs more playmakers at every position. So, if I'm picking here, I'm staying put and I'm picking the best player that falls at my position and then go from there and start building from there.
I agree with that. Let's read the next question. Would you trade up for an elite? Ron H. This is Ron H. This is your question, Ron. Would you trade up for an elite pass rusher in the draft? Aiden Hutchinson, David Jabo, George Carol. I can't say his name. Yeah. Or Kayvon Thibodeau. And if so, what would it take? If we have a 4-man outside pass rush rotation with Sweat, Graham, first round rookie, and a vet like Arden Key, but dang, we giving everybody. We might be able to put less pressure on the offense and play better complementary football. What do you think?
Yeah,
that's a lot of ifs.
That's a lot of ifs.
There's a lot of ifs in there. We get a first round. It's a lot of ifs in there. It's possible to get one of these guys, though. It is.
Yeah, it is.
We're not getting Aiden Hutchinson, though.
No.
Let's take him. Let's cross that off. Maybe not Thibodeau either.
No.
Go ahead.
So I watched tape now. I watched tape of these guys, and now granted, it's not. I don't get the all 22 like I normally used to do, but from what I could see, all 4 of these guys are solid players. If any of those 4, are at the Eagles can pick up, I think it's going to be tremendous. Obviously, like you said, Thibodeau and Hutchinson are going to be gone. But I was watching George Karafis. I can't even say his name. Out of Purdue. That dude is a beast now. Like he's going to be special. I know he went to Purdue. I know that the the level of competition is so. But if you watch his tape. He's very good. He's powerful. He plays low. He reminds me of Brandon Graham in the way he plays. Like he plays physical. He plays hard. He's fast. He's athletic. He can bend. He's a good player. He can bend. He's a good player.
From Purdue.
I actually like him more than Ajabu. And I know he's a Michigan guy, but I like him more, man. I think he's going to be a good player. So if out of those four, obviously we're not going to get Thibodeau, we're not going to get Hutchinson. So what's left is Ajabu and the guy from Purdue.
Yeah,
I can never pronounce his name either.
Carol Lefidus.
Leftis.
Lefidus.
I like it.
Carol Lefidus.
Now, in terms of adding Arden Key, that's you can't really bank on that. Is Graham's got one more year? Brandon?
Graham will be back next year, barring any setbacks. Yeah, he'll be back, but at the same time, do we need another veteran pass rusher? We will be in the market for another because you got Ryan Kerrigan. You have to. So we'll be in the market, and maybe a guy. Yeah, I don't know how much we can expect from people want to go, like when you talk about veteran pass rush, they want to go to teams that are winning, right? So we got to think about what we can afford, and that's just the truth. Yeah. Benjamin C.
During the 2000s, this is gonna be a good one. And when it starts with during the 2000s,
you know it's gonna be a good one.
During the 2000s, one criticism of Andy Reid was that he was great at getting his teams ready for the regular season, but that he didn't step it up for the playoffs. This was supposedly a reason why those Eagle teams won a lot of games but seemed to underperform in the playoffs. Is this a fair criticism? Did he improve on this front in Kansas City? Or as you seem to imply in your February 2nd podcast, you got receipts. Is this still an issue? Finally, which NFL coaches seem to be especially good at getting their teams to excel in the playoffs?
Ooh. Well, so let's get something like straight. The playoffs is hard as hell, right? It's not the regular season because remember, historically, it's been 12 teams in the playoffs, right? So you got 20 other bad teams or not playoff teams that those 12 teams have been playing against. So there's a false sense of success and accomplishment that is really not founded upon much. But when you start getting into this tournament, you start getting NFL, playoffs, these teams are good and they don't beat themselves, and everyone is so close, and there is one player or one situation that could have won the game. What's different for Coach Reid that's going to 2 Super Bowls, been to 4 still straight AFC championships, is that the quarterback and with Patrick Mahomes have been stellar. And I would say that he's missing the championship out of those 4. He probably should have 2 out of those 4 because I believe that their team that lost to New England 4 years ago was the best team in the NFL. The one that beat that New England team that beat the Falcons. Right. So I thought that their team was the best team in the NFL that didn't get it done. So yes, in that moment, is there a few times where Coach Reid is the catalyst for this? Yes. I think that even in the playoff games, the team is prepared because these teams are not getting blown out.
Yeah.
There's that's the coaching point right there. These teams are always in the game when a game is on the line. The Chiefs got the ball at the end of the game in overtime, brought them, they didn't play well in the second half, played well enough to get a game time field goal, had the ball first and had an opportunity to win. Quarterback with an errant throw, maybe in most situations, if it wasn't Jesse Bates, that's an incomplete pass. And they still may go down and score, right? So we can't just throw the baby out with the bathwater. You just can't do that because the team was still in position to win. Yeah. And with those playoff Eagles teams, the ones that lost to the Buccaneers and lost the other teams, right? That like those in the NFC Championship teams were a play away. They weren't a far. It wasn't like the chasm was great. It was a Rondé Barber knowing Donovan McNabb tendency in a critical moment away.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and or going into the fourth quarter in the Super Bowl with the lead. Like, that's good coaching.
Yeah. That's it.
You know, and it just so happened that the teams that beat this team, we're talking about the Buccaneers being one of the historically great defenses that ever graced the NFL, with Derek Brooks and Warren Sapp and Rondé Barber and John Lynch, and like one of the historically like great defenses ever.
Yeah.
Am I lying there?
No, you
right. So when you consider that, and you consider Bill Belichick and Tom Brady being one of the most historically great coaching staffs ever, is Andy a better coach than Belichick? I wouldn't say that. Are they in the same class category? Yes, but we can't say that Andy's a better coach than Belichick. But are they in the same conversation? Yes.
Yeah.
For different reasons, lineage, coaching staff, all that stuff, right? But when you consider all these things, that's what the playoffs is about. It's a slim margin. You need one player, you need one better call, you need a tip ball to go the right way. And look at all the New England stuff. Freaking Marshawn Lynch can't get the ball on the 1 yard line. They throw it to the third, fourth string receiver, and they get a pick.
Unreal.
Like, just think about all of these little fine nuances of Julian Edelman catching a ball off that was off the turf about a centimeter that changed the tide for that game in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Like, when you consider all these things, or the Eagles winning the Super Bowl and Torrey Smith, the dude drops it in a dead interception right there for him, you know, to have. Torrey Smith comes up and plucks one to send them past the Falcons.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Malcolm Butler getting benched in the Super Bowl. There's so many different factors. We just think about, okay, the end product. It's hard to win these games. Tom Brady has done a lot, but just think about the Super Bowls that he could have had that he didn't get. There's some good teams that don't win Super Bowls.
Very good teams.
Yeah.
And some very good coaches that don't win.
So I won't put this on Coach Reid at all, as far as like, you know, he wasn't a playoff coach. Like, I don't think that that's the case. I think that these teams are just so good, and it's like it could be one thing, like one small thing. Can Coach Reid do a better job when it, like, getting T.O. prepared to play in a Super Bowl is a great coaching thing.
Yeah.
Like,
I'll never forget that. That was the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Rick Burkholder going in overtime, everybody going to overtime trying to get that dude to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great coaching, you know, but that's just me. So I don't think that it's a I think Coach Reid can get it. The one thing I'll say is that I think Coach Reid creates an environment that the players like, but I think sometimes that the environment can become a little bit too comfortable. If I give one critique about Coach, is that sometimes the environment can become so comfortable, and maybe the players don't focus and take it as serious. And I'm not saying that they don't take it serious, but maybe if they had a laser-like focus because there was a little bit more, you know,
yeah,
like, dude, let's get in here, you know, like, but Coach wants you to let your personality show and all those things, which is a good thing too. So who's to say, is it the dude that's driving the employees to do it right every single time, or the dude that's working for the dude that's managing somebody at Google or Apple that's letting the guys go on break every 30 minutes? Who's to say which one's better?
Yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah. So I'm sorry I took a long time with that.
No, I like that. You answered that perfectly. So I ain't got nothing to add to it. I agree
All
with
right.
everything you said.
All right. I'm gonna go to D. Smith. I don't believe Howie sees Jalen Hurts as our franchise quarterback and won't give him the chance to develop as a passer. If that's the plan, do you think it would be more beneficial for our young receivers' development to sign or trade for a more traditional passing quarterback this year? Woo! That fire. I'm liking you, D. Smith. Devontae Smith enters the chat. I've been watching our show all year. Like, talk to him, Jay. Get your quarterback in here, baby. Nah, let me stop.
No, man. So I agree with what he said. I don't think that no matter what Howie says, I don't believe that what he came out and said is true. I don't think that he believes in Jalen Hurts. I really don't think he believes in Jalen Hurts. And
Sorry.
it don't have. He's never going to come out. He's never going to come out and say it. I mean, obviously, because if something doesn't work out, deal goes through, then he's going to look like the bad guy. So he's going to say what he can to keep everybody happy. So I don't believe that he believes in Jalen Hurts. But I also know that you cannot. How do I put this? He's not going to. They're not going to make those moves until they know for sure they got something. Meaning, he's not going to come out and say, I don't know if Jalen's the guy if he doesn't have anything set, right? So he's going to keep it the way it is right now, keep it status quo, continue. Hey, he's our guy. We're going to continue to build and continue to build to the point that he's got a deal that he likes, and then all that's going to change. And it's tough because I'm a huge Jalen Hurts fan. I think. I like the kid. I think he's a good player. I think he's got a lot to him outside of just playing the game. But I also understand, and I also saw this offense kind of get stagnant at times. I saw an entire offense try to mold itself to his strengths, even at sometimes really to the detriment of the offense. So this is a tough one for me because I do like Jalen. I don't think that he's going to be in the long-term plans for the organization. And if I'm Howie, myself knowing that, I'm going to keep it status quo right now, and I'm going to continue to build this team. I'm going to continue to get playmakers, but I'm also understanding that there's a deal that's possible. If there's someone I can get in here that can be a traditional quarterback, I'm going to make that move when it comes available.
Cute. All right, I'm going to talk about a portion of this, right, where it kind of leads to with the Howie thing. This is why you don't come out a day, 2 days after the season's over and proclaim your love for Jalen Hurts. One, it's not true. Yeah. Two, it makes you look like a horse's ass if you get Russell Wilson or somebody else that's notable to come in here. It's going to make you look like a liar and like you're full of you know what to other potential players that could be looking at this, right? NFL agents talk, players talk. And if they can't trust your word, why do you think people love Ozzie Newsome? You talk about the players that interview about Ozzie Newsome. It's like, look, Ozzie Newsome is going to tell me, listen, we can't afford your number. We do desire you. You go out and find a better number. If you can't, I'm going to leave the door open. I'm going to leave it open for you. That's the best way to do this is being upfront and honest. Hey, Jalen, we love your progress. The only way that we're going to go forward with another quarterback if he's if we feel that he gives us the best chance to win right now, and if that's the conversation, I respect that conversation. But don't tell this young man that he's my guy and all of this stuff when you know if you can get somebody better than him, you're going to do it.
Yep.
Seeing that you went and got him when Carson Wentz was promised being the guy. Like, don't do that. Don't do it. Like, it makes the fans not trust you and like you. It makes the players not trust you and like you. It makes the league not trust you and like you. Your contemporaries, the other GMs, the other agents, and people that are responsible for these young men's productivity and their livelihood, they don't want to associate with that. So that's why you don't come out and do this. All right, I'm going to the next one.
Woo! I like it.
All right. You want to take this one because the defense back. Let's do this one. In the defensive backfield, D. Halpern. In the defensive backfield, we have two young starters in Marcus Epps and Avonte Maddox. What do you think of them as players? If you were to build around them, what kind of play calls or schemes matches them best?
Well, first of all, I think they're two young players. I think they're very, very good players. I like their games. We talked about them at length on this show at times before. I think they're young players. I think they're going to continue to develop and get better. I don't know if you can build a scheme around them. I think I see them more as players that can kind of fit into the scheme. They can kind of be cogs and complement your scheme, and they can step in and they can help. I like them as players. I think they're fast, they're athletic, they're aggressive, they're not afraid. They're the type of players, they're gonna, be close to the box in the middle of the field. They're gonna be, manned up on slots. They're gonna be manned up on tight ends. I mean, you can't build a scheme around these two guys, but if I have them in my defense, I'm going to get them active. I'm going to get them moving. I'm going to have them in the slot. I'm going to have them on tight ends. I'm going to have them blitzing, moving them around, and just taking advantage of their quickness, taking advantage of their coverage ability. But again, these are not two players that you build a scheme around. These are two players that, like we said, they're complementary players for me.
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly. And I think D. Halpern is somebody's parents. And I love no D. I'm just messing with you, D. D, you some Avonte Maddox and Epps out there. And D gonna build it. We gonna build a defense around Avonte Maddox and Epps. I love you, D. I'm not let me stop messing with you. But I no disrespect at all. But what I'm saying, the Q is totally right. Right when you're dealing with a structure of a team, you as a player, you kind of know where you stand. I don't think it's a bad thing to be a complimentary player because that's what I was in my career, right? I'm not the main show, right? Brian Dawkins is over there, right? I have to compliment Brian Dawkins, right? Deshaun Jackson's over there. I got to compliment Deshaun Jackson and so on and so forth. So there's roles, and if the better these complementary players are, the better your team is going to be. And these people can be critical because a complementary player, depending on the game plan, depending on the matchups, right, this week. So let's give an example of the Super Bowl. You got Jalen Ramsey out there. You got the Rams defensive line, and you got Jamar Chase, who's their go-to player. That matchup can cancel itself out pretty quickly with Jalen Ramsey and the Rams defensive line. So a complimentary player, a Tyler Boyd, turns into a huge deal in a game like this. That's how the game can go. So you may be like, oh, why doesn't this guy get more targets? Or why doesn't this guy, why don't feature him more? The game may not have dictated that because the other players that are the central players can shine in this moment, and the coaches are going to use them to shine. But if something goes wrong or the matchup isn't the best, that's when the complimentary players complement and show up and show out.
Well said.
Yeah.
Like that. All right. Here we go. Last one. Ready?
All right.
This is a good one. This is from Chad H.
Chad Hall came in here.
Chad Hall. Wow, I've heard that
You
name
know,
in a long
he was
time.
coaching for the Bills.
Is he?
The receiver coach.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Okay.
they love him too.
All right.
Yeah.
Look him up, man.
I got it. Yeah, hopefully he's still there. But yeah, he was coaching for the Bills. And think about that, Chad Hall's in there coaching. They love him too. Stephon Diggs. I saw some articles about Stephon Diggs talking about they love Chad, one of the best receiver coaches they ever had, and all that. Good stuff.
Up.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Chad Hall, Chad H. All right. He said, "You guys have made it to the season."
For now. Mm-hmm.
You guys have made it to the season finale and your first ever podcast show. How does that feel? What have you guys learned about yourself while podcasting and being analysts? Thank you guys so much for the content you guys have dropped on us all year. I've been a fan of the show since day one, and I plan on being a lifer.
Man, Chad, we appreciate you, man. Thank you, Chad. Ace. We got to give you a little appreciation, like Bobby April would say. Give him a little appreciation.
Bobby April was one of my favorite special team coaches. Yeah, man. He was so cool.
He was a history teacher coaching football. All right, so let's chat a few things, right? First, we approach it each and every week with trying to give you guys good information and seeing what we see with the game from a professional's point of view. So getting to this point, I didn't view it as like some milestone because we feel like we're gonna be back next week or something. So I wasn't even thinking about it from that perspective. But it has been a very, very successful show in our eyes and to those that are responsible for it. So it feels good for this moment, but we'll be back again in a few weeks, so I don't want to go too far into that. What have you guys learned? What have I learned? I've learned a bunch. I've learned that the preparation aspect, I may know the game in a way that another football person or another NFL player or another coach can be able to understand and I can speak that language to them. The hardest part is that I have to be able to speak it in a way that the casual football fan can understand it, and trying to figure out that synergy, because sometimes I just want to go crazy and start talking about, X's and O's and the game inside the game and get really, really technical. But I think it's all about trying to figure out the middle space. I think us figuring out that space has been really good. Also, all the work that goes into a podcast, right? So there's a bunch of people that are responsible for this content, people that are editing it, people that are, setting up the scripts and different things of that nature. I've learned, a bunch about myself, and also that I got to do a better job of figuring out different ways to get better. And those are some things, I guess, from my perspective too.
Yeah. For me, this has been a great experience as well. When I first started doing it, I didn't really know much about podcasts. I reached out to Jeff Mosher, and it was crazy how the whole thing kind of came together so fast with Jason and the show. And it was, like I said, I didn't know much about podcasts. I've learned exponential amount in a short amount of time. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a fun ride. It's not over. But I think for me, I agree with you there, Jason. It's been hard, and I sometimes I get caught. I got to catch myself because I start getting like super technical and talking too much X's and O's, and it's just kind of a natural part for me. And I've learned to temper myself when it comes to those conversations and be able to give my explanations and break it down. Not saying that people listening won't be able to grasp it, but just it's been a struggle to kind of break it down in a way where it makes sense coming out of my mouth and out of my head so that people can understand what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So I agree with you on that. And I think the other thing that I've noticed, and I've heard it from multiple people, it's how raspy my voice is. I got this like scratch in my throat. So I've I actually talked. We kind of joked about it before. I talked to Derek Gunn about fixing my commentator voice. So in the future, I'll be working on that in our off time, so I can come back and I'll be talking just like this, and you won't have to figure out if my throat's about to fall out. But no, it's been fun, man. I had a good time, and hopefully we'll continue to grow the show, and add some more content and have some fun with it. Jay, you've been awesome. I've actually tried to.
Come on, stop it. You're the man.
No, man,
You're the man.
You do a great job with everything, breaking stuff down. And like I said, and it's no lie, dude. I literally learn something from you every episode. And as much football as I know, as much football as you know, it's just a really cool thing. So
no, we bounce like you inspire a lot of thoughts of mine, because I'm like, dude, I didn't think about that, or so and so forth. And then when you break down defenses, or you say I don't agree with that, or Jonathan Gannon's, or even our Hurts conversation where you're like, well, give him a little bit of time, whatever. You're constantly making me think about it from another perspective. Now I was right with I'm joking. I would say also, in addition to that, but I do enjoy you, and I appreciate you doing the show with me. I really do. I would say the other aspect of this podcast is trying to navigate between giving you guys a clear and honest and fair assessment of what we're seeing, and the temptation to just keep the locker room safety there, right? Because there's a code, an unwritten code, that if you play in the NFL and you've been in the locker room, that you can't say certain things, and it's not for former players, because former players have to, they have to make their money and do their thing, and they talk and all that stuff and whatever. But for guys that are in a locker room and you've been indoctrinated that what's in his locker room stays in his locker room for so long that you feel like you're betraying the organization by saying, you know what, that was a dumb pick. You know what I mean? So getting through that, and we've done a great job with that. We speak our minds, but there's always trying to figure out the good space in between that. It's because we got to go and see these people. We're not just talking about this, and we're not just talking about this and then we don't see them. Like there's some people like Stephen A. Stephen A. could say whatever he wants, whatever, and he has to see them too. But I'm just saying that I have to go down to the facility every now and again, or I may be in a meeting with Howie for whatever reason. And Jason, what'd you call my pick stupid now? Like, what do you mean? You think it was good? Like, what do you want me to say? So it's very, very, that's a very, very fine line, but we do our best to try to give you guys a fair, honest. We're not haters. We are Birds diehard fans as well. And so we want the team to do well, but we got to give you a sober perspective. Not the ones that you hear on talk radio, the ones that are just so far good that it doesn't make sense, or not the ones that are so far bad that it doesn't make sense. We want to give you the one that's just a clear perspective, that's not too high, not too low, the good stuff, and that's what we're trying to stay in.
Boom.
Yeah. So we would like to say thank you to everyone. Remember, this is not the last show. Just forever, or for the entire 2021-22. This is the last show for the 2021-22 season, but we're going to come back in a few weeks to talk about the 2022-23 season, the draft and potential picks and free agency and all that stuff. We will be back here soon with you guys. So make sure that you're checking, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Inside the Birds platform. We're going to be creating new shows, new content. Thank you to Adam and Jeff and Hunter and Josh and Greg, everyone that's responsible in the background for it. Thank you guys. To all the fans, we really appreciate you guys for tuning in each and every week. Go Birds. From me, Q always has the final words.
Yes, sir, man. As always, it's been a pleasure. We're gonna continue this thing, get it better, get it going, keep it going, and let's have some fun, man. Enjoy the
Sweet.
game. Enjoy the game this Sunday, and we'll maybe talk about it when we get back.
Can Burrow do it? Oh no. Peace.